to explore regular expressions and ultimately look at how emails are being checked in the code that we're considering today, I thought I'd show you one of my favorite tools. This is a regexr.com. This is a tool that I use a lot to build a regular expression to test in the fashion that you see in the code. So if I were trying to find the word am, I could just type am. If I wanted to find, I like this tool because it has a cheat sheet over here that shows me, reminds me what kind of things I can put in here, and then I can put some examples of what I'm trying to check or test, and then the regular expressions I want to use. If I want to be able to find more than one, I can do this flag, and that gives me global. If I want to only find, let's say I was looking for I, and I want to only find the one at the beginning of the line, then I can use the, it's called a caret. We've got $sign for the end of the line and the caret for the beginning of the line. Start and end of the string. So if I put the caret here, then it only finds this one. If I have, like, say if I wanted to find it at the end, it's not going to find one at the end because there's not one at the end. But if there was one at the end of the line, then it would find that one. Anyhow, so that's kind of how this part works. And now I want to take a look and put in the regular expression that we're testing to see if they've given us a good email. And it's, it's not trivial looking. So part of what's nice about this tool, I'll go ahead and just wipe this out. Part of what's nice about this tool is it lets me hover and then tells me what each part does, right? So this tells me it's the beginning, it matches the beginning of the string, and this tells me it's the end, which we already knew that, but what about all this crazy stuff, right? If I hover over this whole part, it tells me that it's going to match any character that is not in this set, and that's because it begins with a not here. This is also a not symbol, right here, not, so anything that's not in that set. And then the plus tells me it's going to match one or more. There are also options to match 0 or more. Here's an example. So that does 0 or more, this does 1 or more, and this does 0 or 1. So just all different. Regular expressions are really powerful, actually. There have been whole books written on them. They're really super cool. Anyhow, so that tells me to look for not white space and not an ampersand. So we don't want to start with ampersand. AOL.com say it's not going to like that. It wants to see something other than an ampersand first, so it could just be, does it only want, it says one or more, so let's see, one or more, right? Yeah, one or more. So I have to have at least one letter, looks like that will work, and then the next thing it wants to see is definitely an ampersand, so then I put an ampersand, and then the next thing it wants is to not see another ampersand, so another ampersand will make it not work. And it also wants to not see, it looks like white space. Okay, so not white space and not another ampersand. But whatever it is, as long as it's not one of those things, it wants to see one or more of them. So it looks like one letter would be enough, right? And actually even a number maybe, kind of crazy. You might decide you want to update this and make it even more restrictive. Okay, so one or more of those, and then the next thing it wants to see is a dot. So it definitely wants to see a dot next. And then what does it want? Any character that is not in this set, so not white space, not another ampersand. So it doesn't want to see any gaps, and it wants to see one or more things that are not either white space or an ampersand. So anything, right? Like a W. This is a valid email according to this regular expression. And then this says I don't want anything after that on the string I'm testing. I want it to be at the end. So nothing at the end, nothing extra at the beginning. My string in its entirety should consist of at least one character. I wonder if this could be a number too. So I think it can, right? Yep, so that could be a valid email address. Well, it's up to you if you decide you want that to be, if you want to tweak this some more and have it be more restrictive. Maybe you want it to have letters and not numbers. It's up to you. I'm not sure honestly what all the valid emails are in the universe. So I'm just going to stick with this one, which is what we have so far. It seems to be effective enough for what we're trying to do. My goal was to really show you how to work with regular expressions, which are very cool.